David. Thanks for coming to our virtual backstage myth interview.
Well, great to see you again, Gwen.
At the Metals Investor Forum, one of the points that I was talking about a bit for those investors who are interested in the junior sector at this juncture was that I think, there's a lot of interest rotating into the gold space, but counter to that, I feel like there's going to be a bit of a shortage of news from explorers because of COVID. There's a lot of jurisdictions where exploration is going to be very difficult or very inefficient, and a lot of drill programs that would have been happening right now got shut down. You at Genesis Metals, you're fairly well positioned in that context to be able to have quite a few things to talk about in the next little while.
Yeah, you're right. Certainly, depending on where your project is located and where your people are located and that sort of thing, a lot of companies will just simply, be facing a challenging situation and getting work done and getting news out to the market over the next little while. We are fortunate at Genesis because of the fact that we actually had started the drilling program in February, winter drilling program, which you can't do everywhere. But where we're working in northern Quebec, it's actually one of the best times to carry out a drilling program. So we had started what we had intended to be a 2,500 to 3,000 meter drilling program. And by March the 17th, when they brought in the shutdown in Quebec for all non-essential businesses and mines and exploration were caught up in that, we had to stop. And so at that point, we completed 2,000 meters of drilling or so in 8 holes. And so some of that's gone into the lab. Some of it's kind of waiting in our core shack to be processed. But we are in the situation where we've got work done and we're expecting results. So we expect, from what we've heard from the Quebec government, there was just another update today that mines have already been given the go-ahead to start up again, and that's been happening. Exploration companies in a large part of the province are allowed now to go back and resume work as of May the 11th. Our project is actually in the James Bay region, and so we're not actually able to start exploration as of May the 11th, but they expect that's going to be coming quite soon after that. So we really, will not be interrupted very much. So we're putting the plans together to, get our people back on site and complete the sampling and the remaining drilling once we're given the go-aheads, which we expect will be fairly short notice or over the next little few weeks, basically. And we're also putting the plans in place for our summer exploration program, which we don't foresee any problems in carrying out starting in June.
So let's capture, since you do have drill results that are coming out as soon as the assay labs give them to you, just remind people where you were testing in this. This is, as president of Genesis, this is your first go at the Chevrier project, and certainly it's Genesis's first go with sort of the renewed geologic model and approach that you guys have generated.
Yeah, I think, as I said in the MIF talk, we've spent quite a bit of time over the last few months remodeling 3 dimensions, looking at the deposit and all the data associated with it with critical eyes, and focused the planned holes for this drilling program on really trying to better define areas with higher grade within the deposit and look for potential areas where they could be expanded. And so, these, are high-grade shoots, basically, that have been caught in some of the past drilling, but not really well defined. And so that was the purpose of this program, was to focus on those and see what we can do in terms of adding to the volume of the higher-grade mineralization within the deposit. And then going forward beyond that, there's other areas with a little bit of drilling that can be followed up with. Additional holes in well-selected areas, and then there's a number of other targets that we've identified on the project outside of the known resources and mineralized zones that are also pretty compelling. So we've got a lot kind of different scale of things on our plate.
For sure. And you have I mean, you're in a workable jurisdiction, so that's supportive, and you have the cash on hand to fund all of the work that you've just outlined. So that, with news coming and with capital support and a workable jurisdiction, you have what you need despite these unusual times.
Yeah. So in all those respects, we're quite fortunate. So.
Absolutely. Well, perfect. I think maybe we'll just keep it there. There's a lot. If anybody wants more information, obviously David did a fantastic wrap up of the entire Genesis story and the Chevrier project at his presentation at the virtual Metals Investor Forum. So certainly go back and look at that if you want the complete story. And otherwise, David, I look forward to talking to you when you can give us some numbers for these holes. I'm sure you're excited to see them.
I'm sure we'll be talking again before too long.
I'm sure. All right. Take care.
Thanks, Gwen.
Bye-bye.